Hey everybody. So today I'm not wearing red, but I wore red lipstick just to balance. Okay, so I think we should start. Okay, so like I always start with gratitude. So thank you everybody for being there, and it's a beautiful day today. And it's been so long, so this was much required. But before I start, I just want to, this is a disclaimer that I'm not a doctor or anybody. I'm talking about hormones and happy chemicals and stuff like that. But this is based on what I've read and what I have researched. So please forgive me if you have a contrary opinion. You can always contact me personally and we can discuss and talk about it. But what I've understood is that, we have the power to kind of do certain things with our brain in order to lead a happier life, right? So when you realize that you can do it, because it's strange, but it's true that happiness is also a chemical reaction. It is a very, because when you think of feelings, you don't think that it is related in any way to any chemicals or any secretions or any part of the brain, right? It's only the heart. We always think of the heart, but you'll be surprised to know that there are four hormones or four chemicals which are responsible for this feeling of love, of pride, of joy, or whatever, of stress. All these kind of feelings that you have are actually dependent on these four hormones, which are happy hormones, and one hormone which is the stress hormone called the cortisol. Okay, so today my endeavor is basically to tell y'all, or to explain to y'all, or y'all need to understand that if you do certain things, if you do certain things in your life, in your lifestyle, the way you behave, the way you think, that is kind of related to the hormones that you secrete, and vice versa. Okay, vice versa. So let's understand that in detail. I'll break it up and then we'll come to the end, as in what little day-to-day things y'all can do to lead a better life, to lead a happier life. Because ultimately I feel that every person just ultimately his goal is to be happy, right? Even if you have money, you have riches, you have accomplishments, ultimately what is the goal? That you want to be happy, you want to be joyful, you want to feel proud, you want to feel good, right? So these are all dependent on four hormones or four chemicals which are secreted in the brain. So the number one chemical, which I think everybody knows about. Okay, see, these names are a little technical, but they have a simpler name also. So it's up to you what you want to remember. I'll be sharing a few slides later so that you all can save that. But the first chemical is called the endorphin. Okay, there's a very famous gym here in Kolkata also called endorphins. A lot of people go to that gym, right? And you must have heard the word endorphin very commonly. So basically, endorphin is the first hormone that we talk about, which gets secreted when we are exercising. Okay, so that is why when you're exercising or you're going to the gym or you're dancing, your body is moving, you feel good. In fact, some people who are into gymming or who run, they run so much that they don't realize the pain. And later on, when they finish running and they come back home, their legs are aching, their calves are aching, everything is aching. But when they were running, they could not feel the pain. It's called the runner's high. That is because endorphins were released. And these endorphins behave like painkillers. They just reduce the pain. Okay. So that is why when you go to the gym or you're doing any kind of exercise, in fact, laughter is one of the biggest ways to release this painkiller or this pain, removal chemical in our body. So, many times when you say na that मैं इतना हंसी कि मेरा पेट दुखने लग गया, हंसते हंसते पेट दुखने लग गया बोलते हैं ना हम लोग, that is because the endorphins were released. That time you could not feel the pain, and once the endorphins got over, you were feeling the pain. So when you're laughing that much, your stomach is actually aching because you're laughing so loudly and your body is, kind of juggled. So endorphins are the first hormones. So whenever you go to the, I'm telling you all this so that when you lead life now, when you're going to the gym, when you're laughing, when you're doing things, you're mindful, you know exactly why you're reacting like that. And later you'll understand how you can hack it. You know, if you're feeling pain, you just laugh. Force. That's why you have laughing clubs, right? People who go to the, when you go walking, you see many times in Victoria, like in Calcutta, people are sitting and laughing, old people are sitting and laughing clubs, right? The reason is that they release endorphins, number one chemical. Okay. The number two chemical, so basically there are four, okay? Endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. I'll just repeat: endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. Now, the first two chemicals are the basic chemicals, hormones. One was endorphins, which I just told you all about. The second one is dopamine. Have you all heard that, okay, supposing you have you're a housewife, okay, you make a list of things that you want to do. Okay, you make a list, and when the list is over and you put a tick, aaj ye khatam ho gaya, aaj ye khatam ho gaya, aaj ye kaam khatam ho gaya, don't you feel good from inside? There's a certain feel of accomplishment, right? You feel good. That is the dopamine that you're getting. You're getting a dopamine hit. Okay, so dopamine hit means the hormone you get when you accomplish something. Supposing you want to eat something in a restaurant, you go and you get that food. You feel very good from inside. That is dopamine. Okay, supposing you made a list and all your accomplishments have been fulfilled. That is when you feel good about that. That is dopamine. Secondly, supposing you have certain goals. Okay, see, you have to understand human beings are all visual animals. We are visual. That's why when we talk of vision board, it has to be something that you can visualize, that you can see with your eyes. Okay, so that is why when you have a vision board, we are visual animals, and then any of the goals get fulfilled. Okay, you get a dopamine hit. Hit money, just when you have drugs, you know, when people have drugs, they get a hit and they feel very high. Similarly, it's like that, this dopamine. You know, that's why you've been told that you should always write down your goals, because it is something that when you fulfill and you make a tick, and when you see that you have written that and you make a tick that, okay, I have fulfilled it, you get a dopamine hit. You feel really, really good. Okay, that is, these things have been told to us, but why they have been told to us, or why are we told to write certain things, why is it that we are told to make vision board, is because it's all connected to our brain, and we are trying to release dopamine every time that we are working, every time that we are getting any reward. And one more thing about dopamine is that it is very, very addictive. Okay, people who are into gambling, who are into alcohol, who are into any kind of things, what they thrive on is dopamine. Many children or many people, you realize, when dopamine is also released when you're doing performance, okay, when you're doing work very well and you keep on getting results one after the other. Okay, so that becomes nasha ho jata hai uska. People who are into stock market, who are into performance, you'll realize many times that they compromise their family life just in order to achieve some things. So dopamine has to be balanced very well. If it is not balanced, it is very, very addictive and can lead to a kind of problem also. So I'll come to that later about how to balance it and how to do whatever. In fact, do you know the reason why, we get so addicted to our mobiles? How do you do that? I do it often, that even if I'm going from one room to the other, I carry my mobile with me. Okay, when you're going, baat kar rahe hain, I'm talking to a person, but a notification comes instantly, I have to see the notification. I can't wait that long. Why? Because every time you are seeing the notification, every time you're checking your mobile, it is an addiction. You get a dopamine hit. So basically, all alcoholics and gamblers are not addicts. We are also addicts. We are actually also addicts. We are addicted to dopamine. You just feel good about it, that I have done it right now. I have ticked that from my list. That is your brain working. That is the chemical that is being secreted. Okay, so this was the second chemical. Now let's come to the two very, very beautiful chemicals that I need to focus on, that I want to teach you all about, and that is called serotonin, and the last one is called oxytocin. In fact, just going back to dopamine, you see that many children are very distracted, right? They can't focus, they can't concentrate. People say कि उनको ADHD है, maybe they have a problem, but actually that is just that they're addicted to dopamine. They want to do things quickly and they get rewards and they're so distracted, they cannot focus. So that is the downside of that hormone, which we as human beings have really becoming addicted to. Okay, now I come to serotonin. So okay, these two chemicals, as in the endorphin and the dopamine, are not dependent on anybody else. These are called selfish chemicals because you just exercise or you just achieve anything and you release these hormones and you feel very, very good from inside. Okay, you are on a high because you have achieved this and you've done whatever, you've done your exercises, you're not dependent on anybody and you're feeling good. But the other two hormones, which I'm going to talk about, that is serotonin and oxytocin, that is something which goes way, way deeper. That is something, serotonin is supposed to be the leadership chemical. Okay, it is supposed to be the mood stabilizer. You are in society, if you get a certain award, if you reach a certain status, okay, you feel good from inside, don't you, when you get importance? Why is it that when you get importance or you achieve something in society, you feel good? That is because that time this chemical hormone called serotonin is released. Okay, and this serotonin is very, very important for us because we are living in a community. Nobody can live an isolated life, right? Nobody can live alone. It's not possible for us. We are interconnected. We are interconnected with our family, with the community, with the country, with everything. Why do you think, when you have, supposing your son has graduated from a university, why is it that they have this huge commencement ceremony and graduation ceremony and all the parents are going? He can always just get the, the certificate on an email. Why do you think we do that? That is because when you have that ceremony and your parents are sitting and you are going and taking that, you get this sense of pride, you get this sense of achievement, get this sense of confidence, and that is serotonin. Okay, you get that is released from your body. So it is for all these moments that we live, right? These are little moments which make up our life. That kind of joy you feel when you're getting your certificate, when you're going on stage. So that serotonin makes you happy. And the beauty about serotonin is, here that you are taking the award and you're feeling happy, your parents sitting there in the stadium, they too will feel very happy. It's a mirror effect. They also feel the sense of pride. In fact, when you get an award, say an Oscar award or somebody, what do people say? That I want to thank my mother, my brother, this coach, these people who kind of helped me to get this, right? You thank other people. And that other person says, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. That is the serotonin that is being released. So serotonin is such a beautiful chemical, which is kind of interconnected with people who are in your circle. Okay, it is connected with people in your circle, and the more serotonin you have and the more serotonin they release, life becomes happier because you're connected, you're feeling pride, you're feeling a rise in status, you're feeling joy. But there's a very simple way of tricking serotonin also. That is why, why do you wear brands? What do you think happens when you're wearing your Gucci or you're carrying your LV purse or when you're carrying something branded? What happens is you feel there's a rise in status, okay, that you have achieved something. So you release that serotonin in that moment. And you feel, that's why the brands have their labels outside. Gucci is written outside, not inside. Louis Vuitton, the emblem will be outside because that gives you a hit. It gives you a serotonin hit. You feel, oh my God, I've achieved so much. But in reality, that is very shallow because after some time, you realize that you have not built any relationship because serotonin is dependent on relationship with other people. So after some time, your hit will go away. You stop feeling happy. So you go and buy another purse, you go and buy another shoe, you go and buy another branded thing. Okay, but that is one reason why people keep on buying brands, buying brands, because they want that serotonin. They feel good. They feel they have achieved something, but that's actually very shallow. Okay, the last beautiful hormone, which we want to talk about is called the oxytocin. It is called the love hormone. When a baby is born, okay, the mother has there's a flood of oxytocin in her body. That is how the bond between the baby and the mother is formed. When you just hug somebody, okay, or when somebody comes and catches your hand and talks to you, don't you feel good? Don't you feel a kind of warmth, a kind of kinship? Don't you feel safe? What happens when somebody holds your hand? कोई friend आता है, just हाथ पकड़ने में मजा आता है, right? Or you're just sitting with a friend holding a hand, but you're not doing anything, but yet you feel very safe and happy. It can happen with your husband, with your child, with your family. That is the time you're releasing oxytocin. Now, oxytocin is also called the love hormone. So this comes with physical touch, with hugging, where you're emotionally involved with the other person, and you take out the time and energy. You take out the time and energy to do something for the other person. Not because you want something in return, but because you are just happy, because you are there for that other person. Okay, try to understand this, that this whole subject of hormones I chose because I want to tell you all that you all need to lead a happier, better life. Right? That was my whole premise, that you all need to lead a happier, more meaningful life. So how is it that all these come in play? Right? Why is it that we are talking of oxytocin? Why is it that we are talking of serotonin? Why are we talking of endorphins? One more way, the beauty of oxytocin is that supposing you do a good deed, okay? Supposing you do a good deed, just watching you, I will feel nice. For example, my friend, she was in Mumbai. So she stayed in Bandra and she was going in Lincoln Road, okay? And there was one small beggar girl. So she kept, every time she used to go, she used to piche pardi thi uske. So then that one day she said that, okay, come, I'll buy you a new dress. Just random act of kindness, that releases huge oxytocin. She didn't know that word then, but anyway, so she went to those vendor, Lincoln Road, those who have been in the footpath, there are lots of shops just lined, with clothes and shoes and all. And she went and she told that girl, okay, just buy one dress, one little small little beggar girl. Okay, that girl, that little child just couldn't believe that something like this was happening for her. Uske liye 500,000 rupiya lagta, but that little girl just couldn't believe it. And so while she was buying that dress, you can't believe it, everybody, all the hawkers in Lincoln Road, they just came together and they started clapping for my friend. They started clapping because they had witnessed a random act of kindness. And when oxytocin is released in that little girl and my friend, the people around also, they also feel happy and feel, oh my God, life is so good. Look at this person. You're getting my point? That oxytocin is such a hormone that it kind of mirrors, and the other person who's witnessing it too will feel good. That is the power of oxytocin. That is what I'm trying to get at. That supposing, okay, the purpose in life is to be happy, to lead a fulfilled life. What is it that you can do? What is it that you can do? You can release these 4 happy hormones, okay? So number 1, what do you need to do? You need to exercise, right? If you exercise, you will get endorphins. Endorphins will take care of your pain. Number 2, you need to laugh aloud. एकदम हंसो, ऐसे फ्रेंड्स खोजो, ऐसे कंपनी खोजो, ऐसा मूवी देखो जहां आप जोर जोर से हंस सको, एकदम बिंदास, दांत निकाल के इतना जोर से हंसो कि पेट दुखने लग जाए, stomach pain करने लग जाए. That is another way to release one of these happy hormones. So if you need to laugh like this, what do you need to do? You need to stay away from negative people. You need to stay away from people who put you down. Or you need to be so happy, or you need to be so positive that un logo ko aap change kar de. Or you need to be so mindful that you understand that, okay, today I'm in a negative space, I'm not laughing, I'm getting depressed, I'm not exercising, my happy hormones are all getting down. I need that jerk. I need to do something. So consciously you go and put on music and you dance. What is happening? You are hacking your brain. You're hacking your brain to release certain chemicals. Try to understand. It's like, it's like a cycle. where you have the power just by doing certain actions to release these chemicals. Okay, so number one was that. Number two, when you are doing this, when you want to release dopamine, like I said, dopamine is the kick you get when you accomplish something. So yes, make your goals, make a vision board. And when you make that vision board, write it down and write a very clear picture, something that you can see. Like I said, human beings are visual animals. Okay, supposing your vision board says, I want something more. Does it mean anything? What is more? Your brain will not understand what is more. That is absolutely meaningless. There will be no dopamine, nothing excreted. So what is it? Maybe I want, like, for example, Nelson Mandela, I think Nelson Mandela was the one who gave this picture that I want to see Black children holding hands with white children and everybody's happy. That's a picture you can see, right? So you have to have a goal or an image which you can visually see. Supposing you have an image of whatever you want, you want to go in a company and work, you have to have that picture and then write the goals down. Write the goals down, and whenever you accomplish one little thing, break it up into as many things as possible. Day to day, break it up. And whenever you finish one thing, you go to that list and say, okay, tick, I've done this. You will get a dopamine hit. Okay, that will encourage you to take the other step. Then again, you do that and you feel good and you take another step. Supposing there's a certain thing that you want, okay, but if you don't feel good from inside, do you think you'll be able to accomplish it? No, you will not be able to. So what is it that takes you to your goal? It is dopamine. So for dopamine, you need to make your goals, you need to write it down, you need to make a vision board, whichever you have already made, and then you need to work backwards. And every time you get a dopamine hit, the dopamine's work is to make you repeat things. You know, supposing you're going to a restaurant to eat something. If you like the food, don't you go there again? You go there again and again, right? Why? Because the dopamine was released, and dopamine is addictive. So the same thing now you can do in a positive way. Once you have understood the method or the reason why you were feeling good, that was because you got that sense of achievement that I have completed this task today. So all those ladies who are in the house, okay, don't take it for granted. If you have completed certain tasks and you're feeling good about it, understand that you have released dopamine and you need to go on further, and you will follow a path which makes you feel good. Okay, I will come to the last, hormone called cortisol, which just negates all these happy hormones. That is the stress hormone. That is the anxiety hormone, which we are always releasing. So we don't enjoy. So we don't enjoy life. We don't enjoy life. We don't, we're not happy. We don't feel safe. Okay, so what do you do about serotonin? Serotonin was the leadership one, right? So please understand, friends, leadership is not about position. Being a leader, being a caregiver is not about your position or your money. It is just about caring for the people, other people. If you have just two people who you care about, be it your family, your help, your community, or anybody, you are already a leader. You will be releasing serotonin, and that serotonin will make you happy. It is only by taking care of other people, by sacrificing yourself maybe for somebody else, that you will be able to release that. Don't you feel that deep sense of satisfaction when you're doing something for somebody else? It is way beyond any kind of material things that you have ever had. That is because the serotonin is working in your brain, has released that super powerful chemical. And like I explained, serotonin, if you do something good, the person in the front too will release serotonin and he too will feel good. So the whole system has been made such, from a convocation ceremony to an Oscar award speech to, anything at all, that if you have a status rise, if you are given a position in society, you feel good. But you have to understand, with great power comes great responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. So, what happens is, in the caveman age, everything starts from there, okay, from the time when human beings were made, from the caveman, okay, they had this these people were there, they were going hunting. Okay, they were going hunting and then they came back and then they got, supposing, a huge carcass or some food they got. But then if all of them jumped together and took the food, nobody would get anything, right? So that is why the alpha male was made the leader. Similarly, that's why we have leaders, that's why we have bosses, because there's a certain structure that we need to do in order to lead life in a better way. But the advantage of the leader is, or a boss is, or whoever is in position is, that he gets to a whole lot of advantages, right? He gets power, position, more money, everything. But it is his duty that when the time comes, when there is danger, in the forest when there was danger, or in society when there is a problem, it is the time of that leader to sacrifice himself for the others. That is why I say, with great power comes great responsibility. If you can be that kind of person who, for the sake of others, is ready to sacrifice, you have enough power and position. God has given you a lot. But the day you start taking responsibility for others, you start sacrificing, because you understand that you have been given that privilege. You are the one who has been given the food first to eat. Nobody minds that. But the problem comes in when you let them down. You know, when the company, if somebody is a CEO of a company, he sacrifices employees for his perks, that is the time you're angry, right? You're not angry because he has a higher salary, it's expected. You're not angry if he has a bigger chamber, it's fine. But when the time comes, it is his duty to protect everybody, to save the company, to lead on, right? Similarly, you as women, you as people in the society, responsible people in the society, it is your duty to look after the others. You are the alpha. You can be an alpha with just 3 people around. But if you are the alpha, if you are the leader, if you are the caregiver, with great power comes great responsibility. The day you start understanding this, what happens is you are releasing serotonin. Please understand, it's a chemical reaction released in the brain. Okay, and you will have a happier life. You will feel fulfilled from inside. You will feel a sense of purpose. And the beauty of serotonin is it's a mood stabilizer. Aapka mood always acha rahega. Try doing this. Try, instead of doing only for yourself, just do for the others. Do for somebody else. And you would realize your mood just changes. That is nothing. That is no feeling. That is serotonin which has got released. And the person who you are doing it for, obviously that person will be happy, because I said serotonin works like that. Huh? When the child is getting the award and feeling that high of serotonin, the parents here are beaming with joy because they are releasing serotonin. So it's like a reciprocal. So from now on, if you are just mindful that I need to trigger these 2 main hormones, okay? See, the endorphin and the dopamine are called selfish chemicals because it's all about you. But when you start triggering serotonin and oxytocin, just understand that your life becomes really, really beautiful and you are happy. You're always happy. You're always happy because you have released these chemicals in the body. Okay. Similarly, when you have oxytocin, you know, nowadays, when you see people, when they are inviting, okay, I realize they don't make any phone calls. They just send you a WhatsApp. First, they send you a save the date. Then they send you a WhatsApp, and then you are expected to just come, right, for a party or whatever. And they see, आजकल तो कोई phone नहीं करता है. But क्यों नहीं करते हो? Don't you understand that picking up the phone and talking and calling and inviting that person gets an emotional connect? There's an emotional connect. Trust builds up. You know, when somebody comes to your house, when you have invited somebody for dinner and that person goes and next day calls you and says, oh my God, you had such a beautiful time. You had made such good arrangements. Don't you feel good? And some people just come and they don't even bother to, you know, acknowledge. Right? So please understand that in this society where technology is so heightened, you have to use technology not to break relationships, but to make relationships. Technology per se is not bad. So instead of just sending e-cards, please go that old-fashioned way and pick up a phone and call. That is how you build trust. That is how you build relationships. That is how the oxytocin comes into your body and the other person's body, and you have a happier life. because relationships are built. So don't undermine these little things that are going away. Please understand these are chemical reactions, these are hormones, this is science, this is maybe a doctor's subject. Like I said before, I'm not a doctor, but you don't have to bother about that. You just have to understand there's a certain way of leading life, and you will trigger these 4 chemicals, these happy hormones will get triggered, and you will have a better quality of life, and you will become a leader. When I mean leader, I don't mean a position. You will be somebody who is doing something more than just for yourself. And that is what life is all about. Trust me. Just living for yourself, after some time, it is so shallow, you will go into depression, and then you'll wonder what happened. And you know what happened? You were not releasing oxytocin, you were not releasing serotonin. And these chemicals are very, very important. Okay, and one very simple, beautiful way, and like I said, the serotonin is also mood stabilizer, is just to go in sunshine. Sunshine has this capacity of releasing or triggering that hormone in our brain, because serotonin also has a quality that it is not only coming from the prefrontal cortex of the brain, but a large part of it is in our gut. It's in our gut too. So keep your gut health. You have to be conscious of that, because it will give you that chemical reaction, that secretion. It's related to that. Okay, and oxytocin, like I said, the love hormone, that is the most beautiful thing that is God has made for us, so that we all live together with love. Without love, what is there? What is there without love? You may have everything in the world. You may have every material thing in the world, every accomplishment. You may be the top boss of any big company. You may be whatever, but if you don't have love, if you don't have people to celebrate, if you don't have people with you whom you can share your joy, if you don't have friends, if you don't have family, if you don't have well-wishers, what will happen to all that? Is it of any use? No, it's very hollow. So how do you build that? For that, you need to do 2 things. You need to take out time. You need to give energy. If you, supposing I say that I donated, 1 lakh rupees to this company somewhere. Okay, you say, okay, fine. You have money, you did, big deal. And if I tell you that, today I went to Mother Teresa's ashram and there I spent 1 whole day just feeding the poor, what will you say? Oh my God, what a beautiful thing you did, right? Which one are you valuing more? Not the money that I spent, but the time that I gave, because time doesn't come back. Money can be earned. Money comes and go, but time, once it goes, it can never come back. So take out that time. If you actually care for somebody, you need to take out that time, because that is the biggest gift you can give. That person is not a fool. He's understanding. It's very easy to write a check, but go. If you want to tell your son something, if you want to build a bond with your children, spend time with them. Take out that time, instead of every time just ordering them or telling them. Tell them that you are important. If you are in work, if you are a corporate person, if you are in business, instead of just writing an email, if somebody asks you that, how do you like this idea? Okay, email is just okay for exchanging information. But if somebody asks you, what do you think of my idea? Instead of sending an email or a WhatsApp, go and meet that person and say, this is what I think of your idea. Or pick up the phone and say, this is what I think of your idea. That's how you are building relationships. That is how you will grow. That is how you will reach that position where you are alpha, or you can take that responsibility of being an alpha and you can take care of the people around you, because that is what life is all about. Because life has to have meaning. It has to be more than just the endorphin and the dopamine. It has to be about the oxytocin and the serotonin. And it is all in your power. Because from now on, at least if you've understood the gist of what I want to say, you will understand that these are all chemicals secreted from the brain just by our actions and our behaviors. Okay, so like I said, if you want to release endorphins, exercise and laugh, dance, do whatever. Okay, if you want to increase dopamine, make sure that you write your list of goals. Whatever you achieve, celebrate it. The more you celebrate little things, little things is what life is made of, not big things. Big things, who knows when will happen, what will happen, that's your North Star. But little things in life, make it a big deal, celebrate, be happy about it, keep on getting the dopamine hit. If you want to get dopamine just by material things, like I said, brands and all, that is fine. But after a point, you will reach a stage where you will realize that you need more and more and more and more. It's like a vicious circle. There is no end to it, because from inside, you will not get that satisfaction and fulfillment. So balance that out, right? If at all you have become a dopamine addict with your phone, and you think the children have become, don't get all hyper कि इसको brain का problem है, ये distracted है, इसको ADHD है. नहीं, वो कुछ नहीं है. He's just on a dopamine high. He needs to get, he's addicted to his mobile, or you are addicted, or I am addicted. So from now on, consciously understand that the dopamine is forcing you to go and check your notification every time a buzz comes. So from now on, consciously you say, I will not do it. I'll do it when the time is there. When I'm talking to a person, I will give my 100% to that person, right? Be 100% present in the present. Be 100% present in the present. Give that respect. Give that respect. That is how relationships are built. That is how bonds are made. And you have to understand, we are social animals. We cannot live in isolation. We have not been made to live in isolation. You will die of depression. In fact, you know, my son told me, I just realized my son told me that I want to go for a solo trip. The solo trip was a huge thing. I can't go without my friend. I like going with my friends. I don't like, she said, I want to go for a solo trip. I said, okay, go. But I realized even all these solo travelers, end of the day, they're looking for more solo travelers, and then they form a group and they go around. I said, what solo was that? End of the day, you need people, right? There's nothing called solo, you know. And I always tell this to everybody, you know, my godfather told me this, that शिवानी बेटा घमंड कभी नहीं करना चाहिए, याद रखो हेल्प मांगने में कभी भी, you know, you should not feel you should never feel shy, kabhi ego nahi aana chahiye. You have to understand one basic thing, that even when you die, you need 4 people to lift you up. Even when you're dead, you need 4 people to lift you up. So what is this ego? What is this thing of me? What will you do alone? Who are you alone? Right? You're so dependent. So why not make it a give or take, or more than that, why not give? Why not give? Why not release all the oxytocin, serotonin, lead a happy, fulfilled life where, you know, you can kind of be such an important part, where you can spread joy. You know, happy people are healthier people, and vice versa. So if you are healthy, if you're happier, your atmosphere in your house will change. You have to understand, the woman or the male to hai, the woman also is the alpha of the house. Her behavior, if she is happy, the family is happy. Don't undermine your presence. So you need to go out in the sunshine. And when you're in the sunshine, realize that you are producing serotonin. When you go to a friend, hug her, go and hug your mother, hold a child's hand. Do massages. When you're doing massage, the body, the touch automatically releases oxytocin. You know, why do you feel good when you're doing a massage? It is not only the pain, it is not only the muscle. Your brain also is releasing oxytocin, because oxytocin is released by touch. Go for a massage. For that purpose, that, okay, you need that oxytocin to feel good. Because if you feel good, you will have happier thoughts, you will be a better person. Another thing, people who are more generous have a lot of oxytocin in them. You know, you automatically become more generous as a person if you are able to release oxytocin. And the beauty of oxytocin, another one, is that it helps your immune system. It helps your immune system to become very, very strong. So there are so many advantages. So in the end, if you actually realize, what did I tell you? I just gave you a certain format. You know, that if you lead your life like this, if you're more there for the other person, you will release these hormones. If you stop thinking only about yourself and do for the others, you will start releasing those hormones. If you lead a better, healthier life and just simply exercising, laughing, doing things which we already know that we should do, but now you can do it more mindfully, because you can understand that feelings are not only about the heart, it is about the brain and the four chemicals, right? And the most important chemical which we all are filled with, okay, is the negative chemical called cortisol. Okay, every time we human beings have become experts in releasing cortisol in our body, and cortisol is the stress hormone. It is the anxiety hormone. कुछ हुआ नहीं कि ओवर थिंकिंग करो, नेगेटिव थिंकिंग करो, कर करके सब cortisol लाओ, and that something is something which destroys your immune systems, makes you unhappy. Cortisol was released in the caveman time. Everything comes from then, because that time there was danger from animals, right? There were danger from animals. You could have been eaten by a tiger. So as soon as there was danger, the brain instantly releases cortisol. And when cortisol is released, your heart starts beating faster, your muscles become stiff, and you're ready to run. But in this new generation, you don't need to run. What is the tiger here? Maybe the politics, maybe somebody who's putting you down, maybe some neighbor who's, doing something, maybe the boss who is not giving you credit, maybe somebody who's stolen something from you. These are all the dangers, right? So what happens is every time you are in that anxiety mode, as a parent, you come back home after office and you are in that stressed, horrible mode. And what is your child learning? This is what work is all about, which is all about stress. And because you are screaming and you are in that horrible mode, your child is understanding, and he will in turn will become a bully, because he will think life is like this. So please understand, cortisol had its advantage. It was made because the human body needed to protect itself from danger. But most of the time we imagine the danger. And the funny thing about cortisol is that if one person is anxious and worried, the other person will also see, "Are kya hua? Kuch ho gaya?" The voice will be of panic, right? If something happens, supposing like you see in the TV, animals are going, okay, and suddenly they hear one sound. One animal will look like this, all of them will look around and they'll run. They don't even know what's happening. Human beings are also like that. We kind of get stressed. Oh, in this company, there are a lot of layoffs going to happen. Oh my God, layoffs are going to happen. Now, what would I do? I can't help it. I don't know how I lead life. You go into an overboard of thinking and overthinking. And what is happening? You're releasing all the cortisol and your immune system has stopped. See, the cortisol, when it gets released in ancient times, like I said, in the caveman time, the function was because you needed that extra glucose in order to run and in order to be so alert. There were certain processes in the body which were stopped, like nails stop growing, okay, when you have cortisol. But at the same time, the immune system also stops functioning, because the body feels that right now my immune system is not so important. I can take the glucose or the energy from there and put it in the muscles to increase the heart rate and the brain, right? But in modern times, you don't need that. That is what leads to heart attacks. That is why people बोलते ना उसको बहुत stress था इसीलिए heart attack हो गया. Isn't that a very common thing we say? Because stress is absolutely destroying your immune system. It is a chemical reaction. But the beauty is that if there is one cortisol, how many happy hormones do you have? 4, right? So can't you balance it like that? You use this cortisol only when it is needed. When there is actually an emergency, you do it calmly, okay? But otherwise, you focus on these 4 happy hormones. Go for a walk, exercise, laugh, watch a funny movie, bond with your friends, hug your children, hug the puppy, go and do some dan pun, go and do some seva, go and sacrifice your time and energy for somebody else, go and feed the homeless. Do things like that. You will realize that all these hormones are getting released, all these chemicals are getting released, and you have such a beautiful, fulfilled life. That is why I wanted to choose this topic, because everything is about yourself. This is your body, your brain. So you have to understand that you have the power, right? You have the power. It's all up to you. So go for it. Go for it. If I'll be sharing a lot of slides, I want you all to do y'all can just Google the 4 hormones. Y'all will get so much data. If there's little confusion, don't bother, just understand the gist of it, because there's so much matter, roaming around everywhere. Understand the gist of it. So now, from now on, be mindful that when I'm stressed, I'm releasing cortisol. Cortisol के कारण मेरा body damage हो रहा है, मेरा mind overthink कर रहा है, needlessly जितना danger नहीं है उससे ज़्यादा सोच रहा है, ठीक है? तो I need to put an end to that, period. So what do? You go for a walk, you sit in sunshine, you watch a comedy, you go call a friend and you laugh, or you go and hug somebody. Do things like that. Instantly, your body will start changing, your mind will start changing, you're hacking your brain. What are you doing? You're hacking your brain to release the other 4 hormones. The serotonin, the oxytocin, the endorphins, and the dopamine. Okay? So if there are any questions, I would like to take that now. Any clarifications? Yeah, lots of hugs. Absolutely. Keep hugging. Nowadays, all the therapists keep telling you, oh, you should hug your child. Oh, in many, society. In fact, why do you shake hands after doing a deal, or when you meet a person, you kind of judge, you shake hands, no? Because that is how your oxytocin is going from one body to the other. That is how trust is being built. That is why it is so important to touch, because you're releasing oxytocin. So do it for others. When you see a small child, somebody, uska haath pakro, just utna mein that person will feel safe. If it's such a simple thing, why can't we do it? It's something so simple. And now you do it mindfully. Don't do it randomly. Okay? So I didn't share any slides. I'll just show you a few things. So I'll share all this with you in the group. So did you know oxytocin is a bonding hormone, or what is often called the love hormone? It's correlated with intimacy, trust, and mutual connection with people. Studies also show that oxytocin reduces cardiovascular stress and strengthens our immune system. The hormone is released when 2 parties are intimate. So intimate doesn't mean sex, okay, every time. Please understand that. So all these I'll share with you all so that you all remember a bit of what I said. But in the end, just remember that you need to focus on the serotonin and the oxytocin. Dopamine and endorphin you'll do anyway. Half the time you're doing it. Okay. Any questions?
Can I say something, Shivani?
Yeah, who's that?
I'm Kumud.
Yeah, Kumud. I think can you put your camera on?
Okay, just give me a second. Yeah. So, yes, I met you a couple of times here and there, if you remember. And thank you for everything. And you know what, I'm having this thing, thyroid problem recently. I mean, I've been a thyroid patient for 40 years, but right now it's sort of jumping up and down a lot is happening. So when I'm morning, I do my gratitude journey. I put my hand here and I say, thank you, my glands. Thank you for, healing. Thank you. Send them hugs. Send them the smiley emojis, the heart emojis and all that. So, I'm sure it will work it out.
Yeah, so what happens is, I forgot to mention this, but when you practice gratitude, okay, you release the serotonin and the oxytocin also. And these hormones are, like I said, happy hormones, healing hormones. So that is one reason why when you write, you count your blessings, or you express gratitude, or you're generous. So what you're doing is very good, Kumud. I know it will work. Whatever is there it's going to be only positive.
Absolutely. And thank you. I mean, I think after the first time I heard you and I started that gratitude journey, so it's like my every morning day routine. Just get up, have a glass of water, and do my gratitude journey. and then only do anything else. Because I feel once I get up and start doing something, then my mind goes here and there. And so I want to do it with my mind.
Now, when your mind goes here and there, try to understand which hormone you're secreting and instantly go back, because now you have that knowledge and that power, you know.
Of course,
knowledge is power. See, knowledge is power. When you're mindful and you have certain knowledge, you can kind of lead your life in that way instead of doing things randomly. And that brings so much meaning, right? Because your intention is there. Your intention
so
is
I think my age is also helping into that. You know what happens when you are young, you have 1,000 and more things to handle. But my age, my nature, and my sangat with the people like you has made it very, very prominent.
So sweet.
So
good.
Thank you.
Always good to be grateful.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So I every morning I say thank you to you also, Shivani. You are also one of the person I say
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I say thank you to all of you. I have to put a post now, so automatically I do.
Yes, absolutely.
So I hope this was kind of a experience. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think Shivani, we each one of us, we are absolutely deep from our heart, we are thankful to you.
Oh, so sweet. So am I, Moushami. Thank you for being there always. And, you know, people who are believers and who, you know, you like I said, you must be feeling good now when you do so much. That is because you're releasing all these hormones. So the bond becomes like, I just wanted every, like when Moushami came to Calcutta, she's from Bombay, she makes a point. She made it a point to come and meet me. Okay. She like said that I have to meet you. So what is happening? That is when I meet her and she meets me, that trust or that bond becomes more and more deeper, because
so true.
Releasing the oxytocin, I'm releasing the oxytocin, and that is creating a bond. So that same thing can't happen if you just send a text or you make a phone call. So for her to come from all the way, she needed to give time and energy. So the day you are ready to give time and energy for any relationship, that is the time you are a happier person. The bond becomes stronger. So it's that simple. Please take out that time, friends. And please remember, this new system of just sending a WhatsApp and not calling when you have something is absolutely wrong. You are not reaching out emotionally to that person. It's very superficial. Yes, Auntie.
मैं शारदा गिनोड़िया।
हाँ आंटी, नमस्ते।
खुश रहो बेटा, खुश रहो। मुझे फायदा हो रहा है। मैं भी उठती हूँ, रियली मैं उठती हूँ सुबह, उठने के बाद कभी तुरंत, कभी नहा धो के पूजा घर में भगवान के सामने बैठती हूँ, और प्रकृति से जो मिल रहा है, शरीर से जो मिला है, परिवार से मिला है, सबका शुक्रिया अदा करती हूँ। एंड आई एम हैप्पी। थैंक्स टू यू ऑल्सो। इसमें तुम्हारा भी बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन है।
इनफैक्ट आई नीड टू लर्न फ्रॉम यू। मने आई एम जस्ट वेरी स्मॉल।
नहीं देखो बेटा, सुन के ही समझ में आती है चीजें। हर चीज आदमी इंसान अपने आप नहीं समझ पाता है। जब वक्त सुनती हूँ, then I realize. Thanks to you.
Thank you, Auntie, so much. Thank you for being supporting me like this.
God bless you, beta. God bless.
Thank you. So I think any other questions? Any other question not related to this which you all have pending? Ask me. Now that we are live and my Zoom is unlimited. Because one more thing, you know, many times I forget to reply to a lot of people. Either I miss it or I get too busy or it gets lost in all the WhatsApp messages. So just a request, you know, you all can resend it to me if I forget. It's not that I'm doing it on purpose. It's just that I miss many times.
Shivani, one thing.
Amazing session.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Shivani, one thing I want to ask you, it's not related regarding today's session, but you know, how often do we do the release work? We all do affirmations and manifestation, because whenever now I do the release work, most of the things I think, like I had this 2 years of journey, I don't have much to release right now, because I don't think I'm not in that negative zone anymore.
Don't, absolutely, you don't need to.
Okay, that's what I'm asking you.
Yeah. In fact, like you should feel so happy where, oh my God, I've reached that level where I have nothing to release. Feel more overwhelmed and more happy.
Okay.
It's beautiful if you have nothing to release.
Yeah, so I feel I have, you know,
You are supposed, no. You have to do release work for that food thing.
Food thing, yes. That is the only thing I'm doing the release work. I've started.
Just do that now, then you'll get rid of that also.
Yeah, okay.
I have a question.
Tell me.
Like release work, you had told that we should do using black pen. So how frequently release work should be done? And the second question is that for writing the gratitudes, is there any specific color?
Camera on karo. Camera on karo. It's rude na to talk without the camera on.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I did not switch on the camera before. I wanted to ask that.
You have such a pretty face. Why won't you put the camera on?
Thank you.
Yeah, so see, you have to do release work, Jagriti, when you feel the need that you are becoming too negative or something is bogging you down or you're overthinking or you're releasing all the cortisols. आज सीखा ना तो तुमको जब पता चलेगा कि नहीं मेरे को बहुत नेगेटिव फीलिंग्स आ रहे हैं, मेरे को नेगेटिव थॉट्स आ रहे हैं, मेरे को ऐसा फील नहीं करना है. That is one simple process of releasing all that, right? So black pen is of course one thing which I taught you all, but that you already know. So your question was how often should we do it? Do it whenever you feel that you need to release all negativity और तुम्हारा mind में बहुत ज़्यादा ये सब stress, overthinking, anxiety भरा हुआ है and it is not helping you, it is blocking you. Do it that time.
And for writing gratitudes, should we use any specific color like you told for release work? It should be black.
No, for
gratitude.
For gratitude, let me ask you one thing. When you say for writing gratitude, you mean your wish list as in affirmation list or things which you already have and you are grateful for? What? Because many times people get confused.
Gratitude. Even I have this confusion in my mind that suppose if I have some goals, so I can
goals
be
is not
grateful
gratitude. See, goals is not gratitude. When you are saying count your blessings or you're writing gratitude, that is something which you already have. Like supposing you already have a house, you're already alive, you already have a mother. These things you are already grateful for, right? So that is gratitude when you're counting your blessings. Okay, so that you write with blue pen. But if you want a goal, okay, how you write is not important. The point is, if it is a goal which you do not have, supposing your goal is that I want to establish a baking house which is very, very successful. Okay, and my cookies are selling like everywhere. So that you will write in red because that is a manifestation. That is not a gratitude. You are grateful. The way you're writing is that I am so happy and grateful that now that my cakes and cookies are selling all over the world. You're writing like that, but it is not something which has manifested. It is something which will manifest. But when you're writing it, you write it in the present tense, right? But that you write in red because that is a manifestation you want. Gratitude is something which you are already grateful for. So always start with gratitude. Why do we say that we start with a gratitude list? Because the logical mind, okay, the logical mind, which is always active, that is not conflicting. When you say that I'm grateful to be alive, it is a fact that you're alive, right? That I'm grateful that I have this beautiful house. You have that house, right? So what happens is your logical mind is not fighting and it becomes at peace. It accepts and then it becomes happier. And after that, you can come to your manifestation. That is why we start the morning with a gratitude list, things which are already there in our life. Because we want to tell the logical mind, it's okay, be at peace. It doesn't fight. So did I answer your question?
Just I want to
red pen.
Confirm that
for manifestation, red pen, for blessing,
yes.
blue pen, for release, black pen.
So the format for manifestation and the gratitude is similar, just the color is different, right? I can write it in the similar way, like I'm grateful for my goals, whatever I want to achieve.
Yeah. And today you learned that the goal has to be something which is visible. And then you make smaller goals and then you keep on ticking if you've achieved one thing and you will release dopamine. And this dopamine will help you move forward to your goal. Did you understand
one more thing? Yes, one more thing I want to clarify, like manifestation and gratitude, should it be done in the same page or it should be done in different sheets of the same notebook? Like, can I mix up in the same sheet? If I'm
in the same book, yes.
So it should be done in separate sheets, so in the similar page only I can write it.
See, right now, Jagriti, you are a little confused about this, right? You do one thing very simply, just write in separate sheets. First you start with your blessings and then you write your manifestation. 2 sheets, same book will do.
Okay, separate sheet I should do. Okay.
मैं एक बात और पूछना चाह रही
Thank you.
Yeah.
बेटा, ये जो हम भगवान को धन्यवाद देते हैं कि ये मैं मन में देती हूँ हाथ जोड़ के, और अगर हम कुछ चाहते हैं कि ऐसा हो तो उसके लिए लिखना जरूरी है, या वो हाथ जोड़ के वो बात भी हम बोल सकते हैं मन में?
नहीं आंटी, बोल सकते हैं जरूर, हम लोग तो मन में ही बोलते हैं, पर क्या होता है कि अगर हम लोग कोई चीज लिखते हैं, ठीक है, हम लोग जब लिखते हैं तो वो हम लोग के सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में ज्यादा उसका पकड़ आता है, बिकॉज व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग उसके साथ देयर आर सर्टेन थिंग्स इन द माइंड कम्स। तो अगर आप कुछ चाहते हैं और अगर आप वो लिखते हैं तो वो ऑलवेज बेटर होता है। और उसको आप जब लिखेंगे ना आंटी, तो वो क्या है, उस तरीके से लिखिए कि वो आपके सामने उसका एक पिक्चर हो, माने इट हैज टू बी समथिंग जो आप इमेजिन कर सके, जो आपको सामने दिखे। लाइक आई सेड, आई वांट समथिंग मोर। अब मोर का कोई मीनिंग नहीं है, इट हैज टू बी समथिंग डेफिनेट। और अगर आप वो डेफिनेट चीज को लिखते हैं तो क्या होता है, आप जैसे मैं आज समझाई, यू रिलीज डोपामिन, और उसको आप छोटा छोटा स्टेप्स में ब्रेक करिए। तो डोपामिन से क्या होता है, यू गेट दैट एनर्जी टू गो फॉरवर्ड। नहीं तो आदमी थक जाता है, बहुत बार निराश हो जाता है। बट इफ यू आर गेटिंग दैट हेल्प फ्रॉम द केमिकल which your body is releasing because you have achieved a little bit of it. अब मेरे को एक्चुअली आपका गोल नहीं पता, इसीलिए मैं लार्जर पिक्चर में बात कर रही हूँ, but just to answer you, अगर आप वो चीज लिखते हैं तो it is always better.
नहीं, जैसे मैं किसी के हेल्थ के बारे में थोड़ी चिंतित हूँ, या किसी के फाइनेंस के बारे में थोड़ी चिंतित हूँ, तो इसको हम किस ढंग से आगे बढ़ाएं?
हाँ, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो आपको चिंतित होने का दरकार नहीं है, ठीक है? यू आर नॉट रियली हेल्पिंग। आपका चिंता से कोई फायदा हो रहा है?
नहीं हो रहा।
नहीं हो रहा है ना, तो छोड़ दीजिए ना। आप इस एज में क्या चिंता करते हैं आंटी? आराम से जाइए ज्योतिर्मय क्लब, यहाँ वहाँ जाइए, BRC।
मैं लायंस और ज्योतिर्मय दोनों में एंजॉय करती हूँ।
हाँ, बस उतना तक ही रखिए। आपको चिंता, आपका थिंकिंग या ओवर थिंकिंग से कोई फायदा नहीं हो रहा है।
लेकिन somebody is too close to me, somebody, कोई मेरे बहुत करीब है।
हाँ, तो आप उसको खाली ब्लेसिंग्स भेजिए। मैं जब भी आपको चिंता आए, आप उसको कन्वर्ट करिए कि आई ब्लेस दैट पर्सन, एवरीथिंग विल बी फाइन, आई हैव फेथ। आप उस थॉट को चेंज करिए, बिकॉज आपका थिंकिंग या आपका ओवर थिंकिंग या आपका वरी कोई एंगल से किसी को भी हेल्प नहीं कर रहा है। ना वो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो रहा है, ना वो आदमी को हेल्प कर रहा है, ना आपका हेल्थ को हेल्प कर रहा है। आप कॉर्टिसोल रिलीज कर रहे हैं, आपका इम्यून सिस्टम आप कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर रही हैं।
Not always, but sometimes it happens.
Of course it happens. Many times it happens. हम इतना लेक्चर देते हैं, मेरे को ही होते रहता है हर टाइम, बट
मैं बहुत हैप्पी, मैं बहुत खुश रहने वाली हूँ। I know. बहुत हंसी मजाक करने वाली हूँ।
मेरे को पता है।
कभी एक माइंड में आती है, कभी आती है, समटाइम्स
आती है। जब आती है तब आप इमीडिएटली बोलिए आई सेंड ब्लेसिंग्स। आप विजुअलाइज करिए। अगर हेल्थ है तो आप इमेजिन करिए कि आप ग्रीन लाइट भेज रही है उनके पास, उनका जो भी हेल्थ इश्यू है वो सॉल्व हो रहा है। दैट पर्सन इज हैविंग अ बाथ इन ग्रीन लाइट। ग्रीन इज द पावर ऑफ हीलिंग, ठीक है? आपको लगेगा कि मैं कुछ की हूं उसके लिए। तो ऑलवेज जब आपको वरी हो, विजुअलाइज कि आप ग्रीन लाइट भेज रही हैं उसको, एंड दैट पर्सन इज गेटिंग हील्ड, यू विल फील बेटर, ठीक है? और फाइनेंशियल इश्यू हो तो जस्ट affirmations करिए कि that person is financially stable, everything is good. Positive affirmations करिए, वरी मत करिए, क्योंकि वो हेल्प नहीं करने वाला है।
I understood.
क्योंकि आप समझ रहे हैं ना, मैं बोलती हूँ ना, thoughts become things. पहले
I understood. मुझे ये भी पता है कि जो तुम सोचते हो बाउंस करती है।
हाँ, पहले हम लोग पुराने जमाने में बोलते थे कि अगर प्यार है तो चिंता तो होगा ही ना, इट्स नॉर्मल, राइट? पर अब उल्टा है, अगर प्यार है तो प्लीज आप उस चीज को बढ़ाइए मत चिंता कर करके, उस चीज को ब्लेस करिए, उस चीज को हल्का बनाइए।
बहुत फ्रेंकली डिस्कस कर रही हूँ, बोल रही हूँ। सब कुछ सोचने के बावजूद कभी कभी बहुत कम होता है मेरे साथ। मैं ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव सोचती हूँ, कोई को पूछती भी हूँ, बीमार को भी तो आप ठीक है ना, क्या और चल घूमने चलते हैं, दैट्स लाइक। लेकिन कभी कभी आई डोंट नो व्हाई नेगेटिव थॉट्स आते हैं किसी को बीमार देख के, या किसी को मुसीबत
Natural,
हुई।
auntie, that time you just need to say one thing, okay? That this is a thought. This is just a thought. This is not me. Right? ये एक thought है, आया है चला जाएगा, big deal. उसको time दीजिए कि आपको पता है आया है चला जाएगा, क्या है? You can't punish yourself for having that thought. You are a human being. वो thought तो आना ही है, right?
I understood, बेटा.
But उस moment में just say this is just a thought and a thought can change.
I feel comfortable now.
Yeah, say this is just a thought and a thought can change. और किसी के हेल्थ के लिए तो आंटी प्लीज आप विजुअलाइज करिए कि आप ग्रीन लाइट भेज रही हैं, दैट पर्सन इज सराउंडेड विद नेचर, आर्कएंजल, मैंने जो भी आप अपने हनुमान जी जो भी भगवान है उनको भेज दीजिए कि अभी तुम जाओ उनका हेल्थ का ध्यान रखो, गिव डायरेक्शन, डोनेट मनी, कोई जगह किसी बीमार आदमी का सेवा करिए और बोलिए उस एनर्जी को डायरेक्शन दीजिए दैट मैं ये जो गुड कर्मा जनरेट की हूँ बाय दिस डोनेशन इट शुड गो टू द हेल्थ ऑफ दैट पर्सन. वो डोनेट,
that's better. I like this idea. I like.
Yeah, so that you have to give energy direction. अगर आप कुछ करते हैं अच्छा तो good karma generate होता है, but that energy is just in the universe going around. You need to give a direction कि this good karma which I did by the donation needs to go for the health of my loved one. तो उसको एकदम clear visual एक energy दीजिए, direction दीजिए, that energy will flow there. And you'll start feeling better कि मैंने कुछ किया है instead of thinking and worrying. Okay, auntie.
Thank you, beta. God bless you.
So, any other questions? Okay.
Hello, Shivani ji. Hi, I'm Ridu. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi. I'm Ridu.
Ridu. Okay.
Yeah. I'm in red.
Wait. Okay, say Mridu.
Yeah. No. Thanks for an amazing session. Just wanted to know, like, my friend has been told that she's a bipolar. So because that's like a disbalance of serotonin and dopamine. So how to deal with that? Like she has some highs and lows. So is that curable or like what is it then?
See, as far as I know, bipolar is something which that is a problem where the chemicals are not balanced, like you said, right?
Yeah.
Imbalance, that is the time a person becomes schizophrenic or bipolar or whatever, right? So this is something obviously which a doctor will handle. Okay. But as far as I know, I know a few bipolar people. What a bipolar person needs, actually, Mridu, is a support group. Is a group of people in a circle who know that this person has that problem. Okay. And they behave accordingly. Instead of teaching that person कि ऐसे करो वैसे करो, you have to understand one thing. वो bipolar आदमी अगर depressed है या वो manic phase में है तो उसका गलती नहीं है.
Okay.
And please understand that is a chemical imbalance. That is a बीमारी. Okay. Not to blame, but the behavior is such that वो पूरा घर को उथल-पुथल कर देते हैं. Right? If it's manic, उथल-पुथल कर देते हैं, depressed होने से सबको depressed हो जाते हैं. So the way to handle a bipolar person is you have to have a group of people who know that this person is bipolar and accordingly you'll handle it. Instead of reacting, like when a person is manic, you should not look into the eye and talk. वो person को लगेगा तुम challenge कर रही हो.
Correct. Okay.
I don't know if I'm being able to explain because
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the little tricks that you need to understand how to handle a bipolar person. Why don't you Google? You'll get so many little things.
But is medicine a cure for that?
See, I think it's better to try homeopathy because what happens is if you give him medicines, the medicines usually just suppress the person. He will become like a zombie. When he's manic, the doctor will give you certain medicines and he will just become like a zombie. It's a kind of a drug, which it's not curable, by the way. But yeah, miracles happen. आप faith believe करते हैं तो ये भी करिए कि okay, this person is totally healed. Why don't you read this book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy?
Okay, fine. I'll do that.
But there are certain things that you need to do with a bipolar. Please understand and make sure there's an inner circle, people who love him unconditionally in spite of the bipolar. And people who are always around to shield because these people need that. And don't judge him. It's not his fault. It's a chemical reaction.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I have one more question.
Okay, tell me. Jaldi. हाँ.
Should we write the manifestations every day like the gratitudes? Or
Yes.
it can be done once and put up somewhere,
No.
which we can read it every day.
No shortcuts. रोज लिखो.
Okay, and affirmation is not to be written, just to be said.
It should be written. Affirmation. Okay, you do one thing. You're already writing a manifestation. So affirmations, you look in the mirror and say that Jagriti has got the right ideas and I'm so, empowered and I am doing everything correct. I'm taking the right actions. I'm so beautiful. Say all this. Mirror ko dekh ke karo subah. Look at yourself in the mirror.
All the affirmations once each.
See, Jagriti, you're not understanding the point. Everything is not about being technically correct. Try to understand the essence. If you are feeling good, doing what you are doing, it's working for you. The results will come. Okay?
Yes, that's correct. I am going into the technical part a lot.
That's not important. That's very minor. Try to understand the essence. Okay? Then it'll be easier for you. You have to enjoy this process. It cannot be a burden. The whole idea is to make a happier life, not to add burden to what we already have. Okay?
Can you please repeat what you were saying? Like, there should be no burden in the mind for anything.
Not to make a burden out of all these writing. It should make you feel happy.
Yes. Yeah. My mother wants to ask you a question.
Oh, okay.
She was also listening. She was not visible in the camera, but she was there.
Okay, please.
Good morning. Good afternoon, ma'am.
नहीं, please, नाम मत बोलिए, Shivani.
You are my teacher.
Yeah, of course, that's okay, but still, Shivani, we all learning together.
अच्छा, एक बात बोल रही थी, जागृति है ना, वो ना अपने आप को नहीं देखती है, वो बाहर में बहुत ज्यादा देखती है कि बाहर में वीडियो में कौन घूमने गया, कौन रेस्टोरेंट चला गया, कौन कपड़े पहन लिया अच्छे, मतलब वो इस तरह से ना परेशान हो जाती है, मतलब बाहर ज्यादा देखने से तो तब पजलनेस आ जाती है उसके.
यंग है, सभी तो देखते हैं. यंग है, सभी तो देखते हैं, कौन नहीं देखते. आप इतना क्यों टेंशन कर रहे हैं उस चीज को लेकर?
नहीं, मैं तो उसके लिए टेंशन करती नहीं, मैं तो मेरा काम करती हूँ, मेरा कुछ
उतना ही करिए. आगे से बोलिए, जागृति एकदम ठीक एक्शंस ले रही है, जागृति को ऑटोमेटिकली गाइडेंस मिल रहा है, जागृति नोज हाउ टू हैंडल इट. जो आप बोल रही हैं दैट इज अ प्रॉब्लम हम लोग भी फेस करते हैं. वी कीप सीइंग इंस्टाग्राम, सोशल मीडिया, यहाँ वहाँ, ये नॉर्मल है. व्हेन शी बिकम्स अ लिटिल मैच्योर शी विल हैंडल इट. डोंट वरी, आप चिंता करना.
तो मैच्योर हो गई, 25 इयर्स की हो गई है.
दैट डजंट मैटर.
हाँ, नहीं,
दैट डजंट मैटर.
तो हाउ टू बी हैप्पी. आपने हैप्पी हार्मोन्स का इतना बताया कि सुबह सुबह उठे, इतना सब कुछ हो, पर लेट उठेंगे तो सेरोटोनिन और कैसे मिलेगा?
नहीं, वैसा कुछ नहीं है. सुबह मैं एक बार भी नहीं बोली कि सुबह सुबह उठो. आई डोंट रिमेम्बर सेइंग दैट इन द एंटायर टॉक.
नहीं, आपने नहीं कहा सुबह सुबह उठो, पर हम लोगों ने पढ़ाई में पढ़ा था कि सुबह सुबह जल्दी उठने से वी विल बी हैप्पी.
एक सीक्रेट आपको बताऊं, मैं सुबह जल्दी नहीं उठती हूँ.
अच्छा, आप जल्दी नहीं उठते?
देखिए, फिर भी तो मैं बहुत हैप्पी हूँ, मैं सबको लेक्चर दे रही हूँ. तो एक एक चीज पे अटकिए मत. सबका बॉडी क्लॉक अलग होता है. अगर जागृति सुबह जल्दी नहीं उठती है तो बहुत और चीजें जो अच्छा करती होगी ना, आप उस पे फोकस करिए.
नहीं, अच्छा तो बहुत कुछ करती है, बस
खाली आप उसी पे ध्यान दीजिए और कुछ नहीं.
वो तो मेरे को अच्छा बनाने में, स्मार्ट बनाने में, मेरे को यंग बनाने में उसका काफी टाइम लग जाता है.
ठीक है,
शॉपिंग के लिए मैं लेके,
क्या बात है,
शॉपिंग के लिए भी लेके जाती हूँ, तो ये मेरे को बोलती है आप ट्यूनिक नहीं टॉप ले लो, टॉप नहीं जीन्स ले लो, कुर्ती नहीं वो ले लो. तो मैं इसको बोलती हूँ तुम लो, ये मेरे को बोलती है. फिर लास्ट में फाइनली हम दोनों इसी में उलझ जाते हैं.
वेरी नाइस. सो शी इज योर फ्रेंड.
फाइटिंग हो जाती है हम लोगों की.
हैप्पी अबाउट दैट. आप लोग का फ्रेंडशिप जो है, बॉन्ड है, उसको ट्रेजर करिए. ठीक है, इसको
ट्रेजर करें. झगड़ा हो वो भी
ऑफ कोर्स प्यार है, इसीलिए झगड़ा है ना. आप वो चीज समझिए. बहुत मदर्स लोग तरस जाती है दैट दे स्पेंड टाइम विद देयर डॉटर्स. कोई उनके साथ जाए. तो आप उस चीज में पॉजिटिव देखिए कि एटलीस्ट शी इज गिविंग यू सो मच टाइम। वो झगड़ा तो एक पार्ट, एटलीस्ट आप झगड़ा करने के लिए वो है तो आपके साथ।
झगड़ा नहीं, मैं डांटती हूँ उसको जाकर।
ठीक है, और आई थिंक वी कम टू द एंड ऑफ द सेशन। आपसे मिलके बहुत अच्छा हुआ, अच्छा लगा, थैंक यू। I think I'll take my leave now and we'll meet soon. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Ata.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.